Welcome to the crossover, where you are lucky enough to be joined by two of the most renowned, respectable basketball players, and of course, Damon Lowry joining us here on the crossover. If a certain coach has anything to say about it. Now, we're going to touch on this later, but there has been drama afoot, and certain people are lucky that it was a feeble window and there was a week for the great man to cool off. Am I right?
Yeah, spot on, 100%. But it's all still bubbling. You're just waiting to go.
You're going to have plenty of time to come off, but I'll tell you what, Southeast Melbourne, Melbourne United, got smacked last time, smacked him this time, finally got some revenge. We're going to be able to chat to Mitch Creek in a second, but boy, South Melbourne brought the heat.
Well, big turnaround. They lost in Perth, obviously a tough game over there to travel back, and then to come out with a throwdown and put a beat down on Melbourne United is a big win for them in their season.
They're turning it around. Like, even though they're a little bit like this, when they are on, they are on. Had 37 points at their half, and then all of a sudden, Gary Brown went nuts. Mitch Creek went nuts, and you can just see what they're capable of when they're all firing like that. So my trust levels with them are creeping up.
Not even Mitch Creek anymore. Apparently, it's Mitchell Creek, and we'll welcome him now. Mitchell, welcome.
Oh, who put you guys together? That's crazy.
It's dangerous. I'll tell you what, whoever put you guys together did a fantastic job, because you guys are rolling at the moment. How good is it to beat the crosstown rivals? The blue collar defeats the white collar.
Look, mate, we're not wearing any collars tonight. We're just going out and hooping. And look, to get a win after a terrible performance in Perth was obviously a big thing for us. Guys like Gary stepping up, having an amazing first half. Sauce finished with about 100 rebounds off his own missed shots. So kudos to him for padding his stats. He had the family in town, said he wanted 20 and 20, he said. But look, to get a win like that, mate, it's tremendous.
Creaky, you guys do have a good team put together, but the highs and lows, what's it going to take for you guys to be more consistent to a real contender come the end of the season?
I think it's the defensive end. We got to understand that our tag and jam up the court, our pressure, as soon as they get the ball in bounds, that we took it out of XRM's hands a lot tonight, made secondary ball handlers, and that caused turnovers. But that pressure over 40 minutes is what makes us a really good defensive team. And then boxing out. We boxed out like absolute crap against Perth, and they waxed us for that reason alone, and we let guys kind of get off. But we did a pretty good job on Chris tonight. We took care of the rebounds for the most part. We did a good job of tagging and jamming. If we do that, I think we'll be consistent, but we've got to get there.
Mitch, my man, I just already know by the end of the game, you're going to have 20-plus points. But it's how you're getting these points now, man. Now you're just dribbling down, you're shooting threes, you're looking way more comfortable on the three-point line. Has that been a focus coming into this season?
Not really. I don't think I've done too much difference. Just go out, get some buckets. AG1 coaching, I go down there and get some workouts in. My roomie, Adam Gibson, look, it's just going out there and having fun. I'm having a good time playing, winning or losing. Obviously, losing isn't as fun, but we're just trying to go out, play some good basketball as a team, and along the way, just take what's mine when I can. And
a sold-out crowd tonight. How good is it to play in front of them? Obviously, you thrive off that energy, but how good to have a sold-out crowd there tonight?
Oh, it's huge. Now we're getting home games, or we're selling out. It's not just a Melbourne game that's selling out. It's not just throwdowns either. So this is the start of something special for Southeast Melbourne. I think if we keep winning, keep playing basketball like this, we'll keep having sellouts.
Mitch, now you just dropped a little nugget that Gibbo is, of course, your roommate. Is there any little tidbits you can give about the daily life about a Gibbs? Because I just went on a 24-hour road trip with the man, and there's plenty of things I cannot say.
Yeah, look, that's I don't know if there's a bleep button on here, but it'd probably go for about a minute if I told a story or two. But look, Gibbo and I have lived together for a few years. He's an absolute legend. Look, he's a stand-up guy. He's well respected. He does a nice job on his beard. He wears good suits. I'll just say all the positive things. I'm not going to give you any tidbits, mate.
Mitch, you know what? I'm not going to sit here and let you lie to us straight to our face. So that's enough for you. Thank you. Fantastic game. You guys are rolling. All the best next time.
Thanks, boys.
Now, nice positive interview. That may be where the positivity stops, because I want to cut to some footage from the radio this week on SEN. Just a little bit of words from the Melbourne United coach, Dean Vickerman.
I'll challenge you on, the commentators this year and the amount of people that have come out and, different commentators. And we see Corey Homicide Williams has a viewpoint to say, yep, I got to be controversial. And now we've got Damon Lowry doing the same thing. And, that all comes back to social media, mental health, and, people just trying to get clickbait by making crazy comments.
Now, do my ears deceive me, or is this the same coach who threw his import under the bus no less than a week ago? So without further ado, who on earth could possibly be getting this week's Harden Up, Damon Lowry?
Yeah, your ears do not deceive you. As we all know, people, these Harden Ups, have never, ever been personal, just strictly business. And if you're willing to learn, they're educational. Now, Dean Vickerman goes on there, and he's chit-chatting away with Drury. Drury asked him a question about how much involvement do you have in the causes that you guys support with United? You don't even answer that question. You dive straight in, and you go at the commentaries. You go at me. You go at my colleague, Corey Williams. It must have felt good to you, honey, get that hate out of your heart. It must have felt good to let it out, but you know it was a soft move, Dean. It was soft. Instead of just focusing on your team, you try to take shots. And this is how I know you knew it was soft, because then you tried to hop on Scott Ross' ticket on his press conference. But Scott was talking about sticking up for John Ridley and telling the media to calm down on Perth. Not you. You singled him out. And you say crazy comments. What crazy comments, man? I said your offense ain't no good. You ain't scored 80 points 5 times. I also said you picked the wrong players. And since I said that, you benched one import and threw the other one under the bus and bagged up over him. That's what you've done so far. So, but I'm not being fooled though, Gibbo. You're not trying to fool me with the old, hey, what's that over there? Hey, look over there. No, you ain't fooling me, man. I'm looking right at you. I'm looking at you and your below average team that's now 5-7. Don't get mad at me, man. We both got jobs to do. I'm doing mine. My job is to call it like I see it and call it like I feel it. Your job is to win, and you ain't doing it. So in the process of trying to get more dubs, man, harden up, big fella.
Hold on, get some. I think we've just been cancelled. Yeah, no, we can go home now. We've been thrown off air. Hey, I agree with you on every single point there, but I will say, look, as you say, nothing's personal here.
No.
I've been coached by Dean Vickerman. Dean Vickerman's a great guy, and he's a great coach.
Well respected.
But I firmly believe that he is in the wrong on this one. If you're going to take the good, you've got to be able to take the bad as well. And while we're on this, I hate to bring this up now, but a lot of coaches, when you're in the limelight, and I hate that it happens to be Dean Vickerman again here, we were unaware this was going to happen as well. But if you're going to do a promo shoot, now, you're going to do a promo for Throwback Store here. Dino, at least put the T-shirt on. You can't just throw it up on the shoulder and expect that to be good enough. That is half-assing it.
I thought it was a shawl.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what. Hey, Gibbo, do you want to add anything into there?
I've got nothing to add at all. But, yeah, put the shirt on, but let's move on.
No, I think, look, I said it before. Dean Vickerman's a great man. He's a great coach, but there is nothing wrong about what you just said there. Absolutely love the passion, and we need to see more of it. But anyway, it's time to hit the break. We're going to be back right after this, but it's Sportsbet at the line with a nice special host. Thank you, great man. I'll tell you what, the NBL, we're a little over a quarter of the way through the season at the moment, and it is starting to fire up. We finally have some sample size where we can start to say whether teams are contenders or pretenders. So we'll have a look at the championship market right now as it stands, and there has been plenty of movement throughout the season. The Sydney Kings, they've remained rock-solid favourites. The one that's moved the most, you look at Melbourne United all the way back down there to $10. They started the season near favouritism. So did the Adelaide 36ers. But the one that I want to touch on right now is those two that I just mentioned. The top chances, they're always a chance. They're playing good basketball. We're not going to find too much value at the top of the market. The Perth Wildcats and Melbourne United, both of these teams are expected to make some sort of move throughout the season. I expect the Wildcats to be able to make some sort of import change or something around that sort of order. And Melbourne United got a good import coming in. They've needed a big, and they finally got that. So pay attention to these markets and see how much teams move. But the biggest one in that market, a glaring omission from the traders, the New Zealand Breakers, currently sit second on the ladder, sitting at $12. $12. And for me, they are a genuine championship threat, playing fantastic basketball. But that's the teams. Let's have a look at the MVP right now, because there's another player who's made a massive move through this market, and that's none other than Keanu Pinder. About a week and a half ago, he was sitting at $41. Even Adam Gibson said it was ridiculous to have a player of Keanu Pinder's calibre sitting there at $41. So the traders have finally woken up from sleeping on their keyboards, and they've put him to $12. Xavier Cooks, worthwhile favourite there. Hopefully he can get back from injury, but If you look at him right now, he's just going to be coming back from injury, taking a little bit of time on the sidelines. That price could push you out. So if you are going to take Xavier Cooks now, I might just wait a little bit. And if the Perth Wildcats are going to make a run, then it's going to be Bryce Cotton that is the head of the monster there. Right now, they don't have too many offensive weapons outside Corey Webster. Might be a little bit tired. His usage has been up high. I expect Bryce Cotton to just be able to have a bit of rest through this fever window and to be able to come back strong. So that's the NBL at the moment, the championship markets, the MVP markets. We hope you enjoy everything that's yet to come in the season. And of course, gamble responsibly.
You know the score. Stay in control. Gamble responsibly.
Oh, there was fireworks in Launceston last night, and it wasn't just at 3 a.m. at the Lonnie, it was also taking place on court. One of the greatest things in sport is a fight in basketball, because everyone there, Adam Gibson and Damon Lowry, know that nothing is going to come of that. No one's going to hit anyone. You could stand up. I remember myself, for anyone out there who knows who Ray Turner is, I tried to fight Ray Turner because I knew no one's going to hit anyone in basketball.
No, nothing's ever going to happen. That's a whole bunch of tough guys pretending that they can fight. Now, some of those probably can. I wouldn't mess with Isaiah Liafa too often, but bit of excitement for the end of the game, and what a great win for the Breakers.
It was fantastic. Somehow no tech fouls in that one, but it wasn't the biggest drama that happened in Tasmania that day, because while you were off being the mayor of Launceston and doing whatever it is that you do in that beautiful, beautiful city, I decided to go to, I think it was called the Alchemy, a local restaurant where I ordered a chicken parmigiana, and that is what I received. A parma on top of the chips, already criminal, and shoestring fries. Now, the great state of Tasmania has many, attractions to visit, but my dear Lord, what is going on there? And did you grow up eating that sort of tripe?
I definitely did not. I'd eaten mashed potatoes as my meal with veggies, home cooked from the farm. But I want to get back to something else, Felix, because I got very excited. I got the call to go down to Tassie. They told me I was going to be going to travel with you. So I turn up to the airport, I ask you, where are you sitting? And I said to you, said it's a short flight, just going to keep my original seat. We're up the back, so I changed my seat, Damon, to sit close to where Felix was. We get to the gate, and what does the lady do? Hi, Mr. Felix. Would you like an upgrade? Now, what do you think the great man did? Would he stay with his mate, or would he take the upgrade?
He'd stay with you, of course.
He 100% took the upgrade, left me up the back by myself. The adventure started on a very rough note.
I sent you a nice text message, though, didn't I?
You did. Very rough note to start. We get the hotel, you get an upgrade, I do not. Now I'm thinking I'm going home to Tassie. Clearly I'm with The Bachelor. But then what do you get? But then what do you do? You go see some of the nice sights in Launceston? Where do you visit?
I went to the little monkey exhibit because I've never seen a park that has it had a half zoo in it. But the only problem was I was the bloke standing there at 6'6", sweating up in a suit that I had worn for 2 days, may I add, without getting changed. Sitting there sweating in a suit next to the monkey exhibit. Now, people were walking past like, oh, who's that dude? So, yeah, I thought Tassie was fantastic, but it got even better when I thought, you know what, Adam Gibson, Mayor of Launceston, is going to treat us to one of the best meals in town after we've just finished the game. He was shaking hands and kissing babies. Look where we end up.
This is some gourmet food at late night, 10 p.m. in Launceston. Domino's now, cheesy crust is...
Oh, cheesy crust was fantastic, but still, it was no filet mignon that I was expecting at one of your finest Launceston steakhouses. It probably has your jersey hanging in the wall.
No, they shut down early, but I do want to get to a point you just brought up about your suit. Now, I want to say shout out to Champion, because it's the only possible way, Damon, that you could get changed in the last 24 hours. Now, this great man, he rocks up with nothing but a briefcase and a laptop. No clothes, no shoes, no personal items at all. One laptop bag. He leaves the next morning, Damon. Guess what he does?
Don't say it.
The one thing he brought, he leaves behind and leaves this puppy at the hotel for me to have to pick up and bring home. What is going on?
Well, you know what? I appreciate it. I was wondering where the spare pair of jocks that I brought was. That was a rough plane trip home. But you know what? Now that we've gotten all our travel stuff out of the way, it's time to hit what was the biggest story out of the game, which I came to the defence of a fan, Clappergate. Now, I want to cut to the footage now of what happened. Now, there was a fight. Look at the New Zealand huddle here. When we zoom, a clapper, bang. Now, we're getting ready to fight here. It's all on. Someone's thrown something from the roof. That was the first clapper. We're getting real grassy knoll vibes here. Was there a second shooter? Yes, there was. He was in the back row. Bang!
That's a throw.
Another one. Now, this one's up for debate, but I am almost confident those clappers I saw on the other side of the court almost 3 times, clappers broke and fell onto the floor. Now, people were calling for heads. They were saying, ban him for life, kick him out of the venue, strip him of his driver's license, everything. No one just throws one bit of the clapper. That accidentally broke. No one threw a clapper at the New Zealand timeout, and I will die on that hill.
So you're saying there was not, a guy did not act alone?
No. And you know what? If it was thrown from the back, I will admit that maybe it could have been thrown. Luckily, I've been informed just before that there were a couple of arrests that were made for certain suspects. Dan Shamir, ex-New Zealand Breakers coach, potentially a candidate. Paul Smith, we know he loves to fire everything up in the NBL and cause a bit of drama. Craig Randall just pops up again. And no. Oh, Dean Vickerman, again. Oh, God.
They all look guilty. Every one of them look guilty.
Out of all 4 of those, who do you think is the back row clapper bandit?
Dean's throwing that clapper for sure. He's a clap man.
Oh, I'll tell you what. Well, I still will say, and what is your opinion? Do you think the clapper was thrown, or do you think it was broken and accidentally launched from the back of the bleachers?
Look, it was hot in there. Those fans were up and about. They were very agitated by the Breakers. There's no way that last clapper, unless they were going crazy, fell off. That was a clear throw from probably the back tier row, for sure. That was a throw.
Damon, judge, jury, executioner?
Hey, somebody threw it. It's probably going to take 40 years before they release the actual footage to find out. We probably won't be here, but
real JFK vibes right now, I'll tell you what. But anyway, we're going to cut to a break. On the back end of this, we're going to talk all about the Q Clash. Welcome back to the crossover as we switch gears a little bit and move from negative to positive as we try to preview this Q Clash, the Brisbane Bullets who have finally started to hit form. They were all the talk in pre-season, but it's the Cairns Taipans who they come up against who have been the surprise package with one of the smallest budgets in the league. I'll tell you what, they have been able to get it happen mostly on the back of DJ Hogue and my man, Keanu Pinder.
Well, I just love what Adam Ford come out and said through the week. He doesn't feel like they've even scratched the surface of their talent once they find their roles and whatnot. So for them to be where they are and he thinks they still have so much more to give, they're going to be impressive come the end of the season and a real chance to make some noise come finals time.
Sydney isn't the only team that can get out on the road. Cairns can go on the road and win. They've proven that. These guys are legit. I got them rock solid in my top four. They play a certain brand that no other team plays. They get up and down. They all can shoot the three. Brisbane is going to be a style matchups. What do Brisbane do with their bigs? Who do they guard? Because they're going to have to defend the three-point line. And then on the other end, will they punish them for their lack of size? It's going to be interesting.
Did Damon just get through an entire sentence on this show without mentioning Dean Vickerman?
Dean Vickerman.
Hey, I want to ask something because I saw it in the New Zealand game and we saw Aaron Baines do it as well. Is there something about blowing kisses to the Tasmanian fans that I'm not aware of? New Zealand, after the win, blowing a couple of kisses. Now, I think that they might have photoshopped another finger into that one to make it acceptable for TV.
No, Bainesy would never flip the bird to those beautiful people in Tassie, but just showing some love. It's a beautiful game that we play, and everyone loves Tasmanians down there, so why not show them some love?
I love it. I want the fan engagement. Where are we at with Aaron Baines right now? Because obviously the minute restrictions and everything, and I think we all have to realise that maybe we forgot that this guy was coming off a massive injury.
Well, I think we've definitely forgotten that. That's a great point you make. These last few games, he's found a better role and a better position for him to play. He's been inside the paint a lot more. He's been rebounding, setting screens, doing the little things, scoring inside first, and then he feels more confident to shoot the threes. So they've been using him better, but he needs to do more of it more consistently.
Now, we have a habit in NBL media of seeing a team win 3 games and saying all of a sudden, bang, championship, they're going to win it, they're on a roll. It'll happen. Perth will win 3 games late in the season and we'll be like, they're back. Is this a bit of a flash in the pan for the Brisbane Bullets?
I think Brisbane has definitely turned a corner. Now, I'm not going to say they turned a playoff corner, but they definitely turned a corner. They're playing much better. The spirit seems to be in the right place. As we just saw Tajir McCall just join in, they're getting their guy back, too. We forget Cairns have been on this winning streak or their winning record without Tajir McCall. So this is going to be super interesting. I like what Bainesy's been doing. I like what the Bullets have been doing. But Cairns, man, like I say, top 4, lock it in.
Cairns are unbelievable.
Well, this is crucial, and with Tajir back in, what role do they play? Do they start him? Do they bring him off the bench? Is he happy to let Shannon Scott play bulk minutes? And this is crucial for them. Hopefully he doesn't disrupt what they've had going, their chemistry and flow. Hopefully he just slots back in. I'd like to see him come off the bench and play that role like Barry Brown Jr. does for New Zealand.
Exactly. Agree 100%. I think Tajir is too much of a team guy to let that be a distraction. He's not going to just jump in and demand his spot back. As long as they're getting wins, 40s, preaching the right thing. All these guys have bought in. So I just expect Tajir to come off the bench and do his thing and be a playmaker.
I refuse to go a crossover show without mentioning Keanu Pinder. What has been the catalyst for his improvement so far this season?
Well, I think Adam Ford. Like, he's given him opportunities. He makes a mistake, it doesn't matter. He gives all his players confidence, but Keanu's been great. He's moved up to, I think, 5th on the MVP race by Sportsbet. He just does everything. He's so solid in the post. He can score one-on-one. You now have to think about doubling him in the post because he's such a problem, but all over the floor, he's an athlete. He gets up and down. He plays above the ring. He's been awesome.
Let Keanu Pinder be a lesson. Whenever you go at a player saying they're no good, whatever it be, situations are massive. He was at Adelaide, people were clowning it. So before we get to this tip-off, predictions. Adam Gibson?
Well, I've got Cairns winning this one. They're too tough. Like we said, they win on the road. Brisbane have turned a corner, but I think Cairns will have too many weapons.
Taipans by 10.
Taipans by 10. You know what? You've been on fire, so I'm probably going with you. Enjoy the game. It's time to head over to the always famous Q Clash.